I stepped off the train without a plan, just a map folded in my coat. No one waiting at the gate, no message left or note. The platform breathed a different pace than what I left behind. Strange voices weaving through the air, unfamiliar yet kind. I let my footsteps choose a street without a guiding call. No expectation on my back, no mirror on the wall. The buildings rose in quiet grace, not asking who I am. They didn't measure where I've been or grade what I began. There's freedom in anonymity, in moving through a crowd where history does not persist or speak my name out loud. I found a small cafe at noon with windows open wide, sat near the glass and watched the world in gentle passing tide. The chair beneath me felt like mine, though nothing here was owned. I ordered slowly, tasted time and flavors newly toned. Empty space between the next and now, afraid that stillness meant I'd fall or lose what made me proud. But here the pause feels like a gift, a stretch of open sky where thoughts can land without defense and questions simply lie. No one knows my careful rules, the strength I've had to show. I'm only breath and beating pulse and steady undertow. I walk along a narrow bridge above a silver stream. The water keeps a patient pace, reflecting my own dream. The rhythm of my steps aligns with something deep inside. A quieter, more centered tone I don't attempt to hide. I don't have to be impressive or eloquent or wise. I can exist without applause, without strategic disguise. There's beauty in a borrowed view, in seeing fresh and clear how small my daily worries look from slightly farther here. I sit beneath the shaded tree and let the daylight lean across my shoulders, warm and soft, unhurried and serene. I write a few unguarded lines inside a worn notebook, not crafted for a crowd to read, but shaped by how they look. I realize I've been carrying more tension than I knew, expecting every passing day to prove itself as true. Yet life unfolds in subtler ways than lists or measured gain. It lives within the steady breath between the joy and strain. As evening paints the edges gold along the distant dome, I feel no rush to redefine what makes a place feel home. Home is not a fixed address or walls that I return. It's this ability to stand and let the present burn, not blazing fierce or seeking more, but glowing calm and wide, a balanced flame that does not shake with every shifting tide. Tomorrow I may board again and re-enter familiar sound, but something here will travel back a steadier ground. Because in a city unaware of stories that I've known, I found a way to meet myself completely on my own. I didn't notice you. It happened in between. A question about the weather and what the weekend means. You laughed before you finished, like the punchline came too soon. And something in that loosened shifted softly in the room. I wasn't looking for a spark, I wasn't chasing signs. I'd folded up my history and packed away those lines. They used to write themselves at night across my open chest. But there you were without a plan, disturbing all my rest. It wasn't wild or reckless, no dizzy spinning floor, just a quiet recognition I had felt once before. Not the same familiar echo, not the shadow of the past, but something built on patience like meant to slowly last. When my heart tried again, it didn't break the door. It knocked with steady fingers like it had learned before. No racing into forever, no promises too soon, just a steady growing rhythm like a low and honest tune. You asked me what I love to do when no one else could see. I told you about midnight walks and riding secretly. You listened without fixing, without trying to impress. And that simple kind of presence felt like unexpected grace. There was a moment I went silent, felt the whole defense rise, a reflex born of endings and unfinished goodbyes. But you didn't rush to fill it, you let the quiet stay. And somehow in that breathing my feet just slipped away. I remembered what it cost to give myself before, how I learned that love can flourish even when it doesn't endure. And I swore I'd guard my softness like something made of glass. Yet here I was considering letting new life pass. When my heart tried again, carefully, not falling into stories or rewriting history. It opened like a window, not a storm, not a flame, just enough to let in color where the walls had been the same. You didn't ask about my ex or who I used to be. You asked me what I'm dreaming now and who I hope to see. Becoming in the future, growing into space, and loving you feels different because it moves at its own pace. I'm not comparing memories or measuring your touch against a ghost of yesterday that once meant far too much. You are not a replacement, not a cure or repair. You're simply something blooming because you happen to be there. And that feels strangely freeing, like breath without a weight, like stepping toward a doorway without sealing my fate. I don't need a grand forever or firework for love, just a chance to feel this courage and call it something close to love. When my heart tried again, it surprised me with its grace. Not desperate for belonging, just willing to embrace the possibility of laughter that lingers after rain. The chance to build a story without repeating pain. So if this grows, I'll let it. If it fades, I'll understand. Because loving once has taught me how to open up my hand. And whatever shape this takes now, I know I will remain whole within my history. When my heart tried again. my thoughts between denim and cotton. Left a note that said I'll be back soon, though I didn't know exactly when. The station was humming in gentle motion, suitcases rolling like percussion. No one was asking where I belong, no one expecting me to be strong. I took a seat by the window side, watched the city loosen its stride, buildings shrinking into the trees. Like old routines I've outgrown these days. There's something free about moving alone, choosing a path that isn't pre-shown. No schedule carved into stone or air, just open hours waiting there. I don't have to explain my pace or justify the space I take. Every mile feels softly mine, drawn in a steady private line. The rhythm of wheels against the rail keeps a calm and even trail, like brushed drums under my skin, reminding me where I begin. I wander streets I've never seen, order coffee, sexy. No familiar voice calls my name, no mirror, no practice. It's not escape, it's clarity, a gentle claim of autonomy, a quiet promise I renew to live in ways that feel most true. I try to laughter without defense, breathe in unfamiliar sense. Notice how my shoulders fall when I don't have to be all. There's music in this subtle shift, in choosing presence as a gift, in letting moments stretch and bend without needing them to defend. I write my thoughts in a worn notebook, lines that no one else will hear. Honest phrases, unrefined, simple echoes of my mind. The bass of traffic far below blends with footsteps moving slowly. Every sound from standing steady on my own roof. I thought I needed someone near to make each landscape feel sincere, but meaning settles just the same when I sign the view in my own name. As evening paints the distant sky, I feel no rush to justify this tender space I've come to claim. These miles that answer to my name. Tomorrow I may board again, return to streets and familiar rain, but something steady will remain, a wider breath within my frame. For now I walk without a road, carrying only what feels whole, and every step both wild and tame writes new ground in my own name.
Found it leaning by the closet, case a little warm. Haven't touched it in a while, since before last spring was born. I flip the latches slowly, hear that quiet click, like something long forgotten turns into a click. There's dust along the surface, settled in the grain. Fingerprints from older days, faint but still remain. I lift it to my shoulder, let the weight alone. It's the way it used to, like it's always been mine. Dust on the strings, but the sound is still there. A little out of tune at first, but willing to repair. No spotlight, no big stage, just first lamplight in the room, a simple wooden heartbeat breaking through the gloom. The piano steps aside tonight for a warmer wooden tone. Brushes fade to fingertips on rhythm of my life. The bassline hums imagine low inside my chest, like memory returning to a place it never left. I strike a gentle open chord, let it ring and fade. The note hangs in the quiet, unrushed and unafraid. There's something in the vibration that settles in my spine, like time compressing softly between then and now and mine. I used to write in margins of notebooks on the floor, chasing half-formed melodies through a barely open door. Believing every chorus had to change my name, as if a song unfinished was failure just the same. Dust on the strings doesn't mean it's done. Sometimes silence only waits for fingers to return. Not everything abandoned is truly left behind. Some passions just go quiet till you make the time. Let it ring. Don't rush the chord. Just listen. My fingertips grow tender, pressing down the steel, rediscovering the distance between what's played and real. Each note slightly uncertain, but honest in its tone. No polished exhibition, just resonance alone. There's comfort in the imperfection, in strings that slightly bend, and knowing sound can wander without a tidy end. Not every line must finish in brilliance or acclaim. Sometimes it's enough to feel the echo of your name. Dust on the strings falling as I play, tiny flakes of yesterday drifting far away. And underneath the settling, something steady hums, a quiet affirmation of who I've become. You didn't lose it, you just paused. I closed the case but not for long, leaning by the chair, because tonight reminded me the sound is always there, waiting in the wooden wire, patient as it seems, ready when I'm willing to lift it from my
The first drop touched the window before I heard the sound. A silver line across the glass, falling down. The sky turned soft and thoughtful, clouds leaning low and near. Not heavy with a warning, but present, calm and clear. I didn't close the curtains or hurry from the street. I let the rhythm find me in every cooling beat. Rain against the pavement made the city cold. Street happening in line. Strangers sharing sidewalks in choreography fine. My hair grows slightly darker, drops resting at my sleeve. The air feels newly honest, with something to believe. There's music in the falling, all rushed and not seen. A brushed and steady pattern that lingers in the ear. You meet me at the corner, laughing at the sky. Neither of us complaining or wishing it were dry. Your jacket smells like rainfall and something warm beneath. You brush a strand behind my ear with easy, steady breath. Catching reflections in shifting silver rhyme. I used to see the rain as pause, a break I didn't choose. But now it feels like breathing room that I don't wanna lose. Cafes glow with amber light, windows fogged in hue. We step inside the narrow door, drops shining off of you. The room is filled with murmurs, spoons against porcelain tone. Outside the rain continues, a rhythm all its own. You reach across the little table, warm fingers on my hand. Not dramatic or possessive, just quietly planned. There's something about rainy days that makes the world feel small. Like all the scattered noise beyond has softened to a call. We talk about the simplest things, plans that may or may not be, dreams that sound less fragile when spoken gently. The base of water on the roof keeps faithful even pace, while time forgets its urgency inside this small space. When we step back out together, the rain has not yet gone. It wraps the streets in satin like a quiet song. I tilt my face toward the sky, let droplets trace my skin. You smile without instruction and let the moment in. There's brightness in the overcast if you are still enough to notice how the gray can hold a softer kind of love. The rain does not erase the day or wash the color thin. It deepens every outline and lets the light sink in. So when the rain decides to stay, I do not step away. I walk within its steady grace and let it shape the day.
The stairwell smells like dust and paint, footsteps soft and slow. Door unlatches with a push, cool air starts to flow. Sudden sky without a frame, stretching wide and dark. City scattered far below, lit in careful sparks. Traffic threads in glowing lines, red and white in streams. Windows stacked like quiet grids, holding private scenes. Sirens somewhere distant, fading into night. Up here everything feels smaller, under open height. Rooftop above the noise, breathing room at last. All the sharp and crowded hours, no longer moving fast. Just wind across the concrete and skyline drawing thin. A broader kind of silence settling within. piano, open spacious chords, clear and widely placed. Brushes tap a gentle swing, unhurried in their pace. The bass line hums beneath it, low and steady deep, like grounding in expansion that the night can keep. I lean against the railing, hands wrap round the steel, feeling how the metal cool anchors what I feel. Problems that felt towering now look measured small, not erased or vanished, just not so tall. I used to stay down in it, caught in every sound, car horns buzzing messages, footsteps all around. Believing urgency was proof that I was alive, mistaking constant motion for something I must strive. I used to stay down in it, caught in every sound, car horns buzzing messages, footsteps all around. Believing urgency was proof that I was alive, mistaking constant motion for something I must strive. Rooftop above the noise shows a wider view, lights blink without demanding anything from you. Buildings rise in confidence, but none of them can shout. The sky keeps quiet balance, holding everything out. Step back just a little, see it whole. Clouds drift in slow formation across the urban globe. Planes crossing distant pathways in arcs both high and low. There's rhythm in the vastness and breathing without rush, letting all the inner static settle into hush. I trace the lines of avenues with my eyes alone, imagining the stories behind each lit up home. Everyone inside them carrying their own weight, yet from this height it softens into something less than fate. Rooftop above the noise reminds me how to stand, not smaller, not escaping, just steady where I am. Perspective isn't distance, it's space to understand that I am part of something wider than I planned. Stay here, just one more night. The wind moves through my jacket, city humming low. Eventually I turn back down the stairs I go, carrying that broader view into crowded streets. Rooftop above the noise, still steady in my heartbeat. I spill my coffee on the counter right at 8:15. Late for something I can't remember, but acting like a scene. Wallet half inside my jacket, phone between my teeth. Trying hard to multitask with dignity beneath. The barista looked up calmly, like none of it was new. Handed me a stack of napkins, said, I got you. Then he paused before he turned back toward the machine and said my name so casually, like it had always been. The stranger who knew my name caught me off my guard, not from fame or status, not from working hard, just from showing up enough same old place turns out being ordinary leaves a trace. Oh, the piano leans into a brighter groove, a little lift and stride. Brushes tapping crisp and light with humor tucked inside. The bass line walks with confidence, easy, clean and clear, like something small but meaningful just happened here. I laughed it off too quickly. Did I forget we met? He shrugged and kept it simple. No, I just don't forget. Said I order oat milk every single week. Said I hum when I'm impatient. Said I rarely speak. Suddenly I wasn't rushing or late for anything. I was just a regular in the middle of a swing of daily human overlap that quietly aligns the unnoticed repetition of our passing times. The stranger who knew my name didn't change my life, didn't hand me revelation, didn't solve my strife, but something shifted subtly in how I moved that day, realizing I was visible in an unremarkable. You'll see more than you think. I walked out into traffic, still holding that receipt, thinking about the thousand faces I failed to really greet. How many names I've overheard without holding on. How many quiet constants I've leaned upon. Wasn't flirting, wasn't prying, wasn't over kind, just paying close attention to the background of my mind. In a world of noise and scrolling, profiles neatly framed, there's something revolutionary in someone knowing your name. The stranger who knew my name wasn't trying to impress, just doing what he always does with steady attentiveness. And maybe that's the lesson hidden in plain sight. Recognition doesn't need a spotlight. Step inside that shop, I look a little longer at faces I once skimmed past like they were barely there. Turns out connection isn't rare or cosmic or untamed. Sometimes it's just consistency, someone knowing your name.
I packed a small bag without a reason, folded my thoughts between them and cotton, left a note to get out back to, though I didn't know exactly when. The station was humming in gentle motion, suitcases rolling like quiet reflection. No one was asking where I belonged, no one expecting me to be strong. I took a seat by the window side, watched the city loosen its stride. escape its clarity. A gentle claim of autonomy, a quiet promise I renew. To live in ways that feel most true. I try not to without defense, breathe in unfamiliar sense. Notice how my shoulders fall, and I don't have to be all. There's music in this subtle shifting, choosing presence as a gift, and letting moments stretch and bend without needing them to defend. Write my thoughts in a worn notebook, lines that no one else will look on his phrases, unrefined, simple echoes of my mind. The pocket far below blends with footsteps moving slow. Every sound a living proof. I'm standing steady on my own roof. I thought I needed someone near to make each landscape feel sincere, but it settles just the same when I sign the view in my own name. As evening paints the distant sky, I feel no rush to justify these tendencies. I've come to claim these miles that answer to my name. Tomorrow I may go again, return to streets and familiar rain, but something steady will remain. A wider breath within my frame. For now I walk without a road, carrying only what feels whole, and every step, both wild and tame, writes new ground in my own name.
You never were the loudest man in any crowded room. Never chased attention, tried to shape the tune. You spoke in steady sentences, measured and precise, the kind that didn't echo, but somehow still felt right. I used to think that silence was distance in the sky, that love had to be spoken, invisible replies. But growing up beside you taught me something else, that presence has a language all quiet in itself. The way you never said it still told me everything, in early drives to nowhere, in fixing broken things, in coffee poured before I woke, and waiting by the door, in showing up each single time without asking for more. The piano keeps it simple, a low and steady chord, brushes barely touching like they understand the score. The bass line rests beneath it, deep, calm and true, a grounding kind of comfort that reminds me of you. You never gave long lectures or mapped out who I'd be. You let me test the edges of my own uncertainty. You watched me make decisions that didn't always land, but never once withdrew your quiet open hand. The way you never said it was clearer than a speech, in how you stood beside me when life was out of reach. No spotlight on your patience, no banner in the air, just steady reassurance that someone would be there. I see it now, what I missed before, it was always there. There were evenings at the table where words were running thin, but comfort filled the spaces between the plates and tin. You asked about my day in that understated tone, Not pushing for confession, just letting it be known that I could take my time, that I could find my way, that not every answer had to come that day. You never rushed my growing or measured me by speed. You trusted something deeper than performance or a need. The way you never said it built something in my chest, a steady kind of courage that outlasts every test. I carry you in meetings, in moments when I doubt, a quiet inner anchor when things feel sorted out. I understand more than I did then. Now when I catch my reflection in glass or window light, I sometimes see your posture in how I stand upright. The calm before responding, the pause before I speak, the strength inside restraint that doesn't make me weak. The way you never said it is how I try to live, with steady hands and open space for others just to give. Not louder, not more dazzling, just grounded and aware, showing up consistently in ways that say I care. So here's to quiet father and lessons without claim to love that doesn't advertise or ask to stake its name. The way you never said it still echoes in my head, a language made of action, more powerful than said.
I stepped off the train without a plan, just a map folded in my coat. No one waiting at the gate, no message left or note. The platform breathed a different pace than what I left behind. Strange voices weaving through the air, unfamiliar yet kind. I led my footsteps straight without a doubt, no expectation back. No mirror on the wall, things rose in quiet grace, not asking who I am. They didn't measure where I grade what I began. There's freedom in anonymity, in moving through a crowd where history does not recede or speak my name out loud. I found a small cafe at noon with windows open wide, sat near the glass and watched the world passing by. The chair beneath me felt like mine, though nothing here was owned. I ordered slowly, tasted time in flavors newly toned. I used to fear the empty space between the next and now, afraid that stillness meant I'd fall or lose what made me proud. But here the pause feels like a gift, a stretch of open sky where thoughts can land without defense and questions simply lie. No one knows my careful roles, the strength I've had to show. Only breath and beating pulse and steady undertow. I walk along a narrow bridge above a silver stream. The water keeps a patient pace, reflecting more than dream. The rhythm of my steps aligns with something deep inside, a quieter, more centered tone. I don't attempt to hide, I don't have to be impressive or eloquent or wise. I can exist without applause, without strategic disguise. There's beauty in a shade of tree and let the daylight lean across my shoulders, warm and soft, unbreathing serene. I write few unguarded lines inside a worn out, not crafted for a crowd to read, but shaped by how they look. I realize I've been carrying more attention than I knew, expecting every passing day to prove itself as true. Yet life unfolds in subtle ways. In this or measured gain, it lives within the steady breath between the joy and strain. As evening paints the edges gold along the distant dome, I feel no rush to redefine what makes a place feel home. Home is not a fixed address or walls that I return. It's this ability to stand and let the present burn, not blazing fierce or seeking more, but glowing calm and wide, a balanced flame that does not shake with every shifting tide. Tomorrow I board again and re-enter familiar sound, but something here will travel back, a steady ground. 'Cause in a city unaware of stories that I've known, I found a way to meet myself completely on my
Found it leaning by the closet, case a little worn. Haven't touched it in a while, since before last spring was born. I flip the latches slowly, hear that quiet click, like something long forgotten, turning slightly quick. There's dust along the surface, settled in the grain. Fingerprints from older days, faint but still remain. I lift it to my shoulder, let the weight align. It fits the way it used to, like it's always been mine. Dust on the strings, but the sound is still there. A little out of tune at first, but willing to repair. No spotlight, no big stage, just lamplight in the room. A simple wooden heartbeat breaking through the gloom. The piano steps aside tonight for warmer wooden tone. Brushes fade to fingertips and rhythm of my own. The bass line hums Imagine, low inside my chest, like memory returning to a place it never left. I strike a gentle open chord, let it fade. The note hangs in the quiet, unrushed and unafraid. There's something in the vibration that settles in my spine, like time compressing softly between then and now in mine. I used to write in margins of notebooks on the floor, chasing half-formed melodies through a barely open door. Believing every chorus had to change my name, as if a song unfinished was failure just the same. Dust on here just the same. Dust on the strings doesn't mean it's done. Sometimes silence only to return. Not everything abandoned is truly left behind. Some passions just go quiet till you make the time. Let it ring, don't rush the chords, just listen. My fingertips were tender, pressing down the steel, rediscovering the distance between what's played and real. Each note slightly uncertain, but honest in its tone. No polished exhibition, just resonance alone. There's comfort in the imperfection, in strings that slightly bend, in knowing sound can wander without a tidy. Not every line must finish in brilliance or acclaim. Sometimes it's enough to feel the echo of your name, dust on the strings falling as I play. Tiny flakes of yesterday drifting far away, and underneath the ceiling, something steady hums, a quiet affirmation of who I've been become. You didn't lose it, you just paused. I'll close the case, but not for long. Lean it by the chair, because tonight reminded me the sound is always there, waiting in the wooden wall. Patient as it seems, ready when I'm willing to lift it from my dreams.
The first drop touched the window before I heard the sound. A silver line across the glass and another falling down. The sky turned soft and thoughtful, clouds leaning low and near. Not heavy with a warning, but present, calm and clear. I didn't close the curtains or hurry from the street. I let the rhythm find me in every cooling beat. Rain against the pavement made the city glow. Streetlights blurring into gold in gentle undertow. I've always loved the way it slows the edges of the day. How conversations soften when thunder's far away. Umbrellas bloom like quiet flowers opening in line. Strangers sharing sidewalks and choreography. My hair grows slightly darker, drops resting at my sleeve. The air feels newly honest with something to believe. There's music in the falling, not rushed and not severe. A brushed and steady pattern that lingers in the air. You meet me at the corner, laughing at the sky. Neither of us complaining or wishing it were dry. Your jacket smells like rainfall and something warm beneath. You brush a strand behind my ear with easy, steady breath. We walk without a hurry, shoes tapping in time, puddles catching reflections and shifting silver rhyme. I used to see the rain as a break I didn't choose, but now it feels like breathing room that I don't. Cafes glow with amber light, windows fogged in hue. We step inside, the narrow door drops shining off of you. The room is is filled with murmurs, spoons against porcelain tone. Outside the rain continues, a rhythm all its own. You reach across the little table, warm fingers on my hand. Not dramatic or possessive, just quietly planned. There's something about rainy days that makes the world feel small, like all the scattered noise beyond has softened to a call. We talk about the simplest things, plans that may or may not be, dreams that sound less fragile when spoken gently. The base of water on the roof keeps faithful even pace, while time forgets its urgency inside this small space. When we step back out together, the rain is not yet gone. It wraps the streets in satin like a quiet song. I tilt my face toward the sky, let droplets trace my skin. You smile without instruction and let the moment in. There's brightness in the overcast if you are still enough to notice how the gray can hold a softer kind of love. The rain does not erase the day or wash the color thin. It deepens every outline, lets the light sink in. So when the rain decides to stay, I do not step away. I walk within its steady grace and let it shape the day.
The stairwell smells like dust and pain. Footsteps soft and slow. Door unlatches with a push. Cool air starts to flow. Sudden sky without a frame. Stretching wide and dark. City scattered far below. Little careful sparks. Traffic threads and glowing lines. Red and white and streams. Windows stacked like quiet grids. Holding private scenes. Sirens somewhere distant. Fading into night. Up here everything feels smaller. Under open height. Rooftop above the noise. Breathing room at last. All the sharp and crowded hours. No longer moving fast. Just wind and clouds to come. And skyline drawing thin. A broader kind of silence settling within. The piano open, spacious chords, clear and widely placed. Brushes tap a gentle swing, unhurried in their pace. Baseline hums beneath, low and steady deep, like grounding in expansion that the night can keep. I lean against the railing, hands wrapped round the steel, feeling how the metal cool anchors what I feel. Problems that felt tight now look measured small, not erased or vanished, just not so tall. I used to stay down in it, caught in every sound. Car horns, buzzing messages, footsteps all around. Believing urgency was proof that I was alive, mistaking constant motion for something I must try. I used to stay down in it, caught in every sound. Car buzzing messages, footsteps all around. Believing urgency was proof that I was alive, mistaking constant motion for something I must talk. I used to stay down, caught in every sound, car horns, buzzing messages, footsteps all around. Believing urgency was proof that I was alive, mistaking constant motion for something I must strive. Step back just a little, see it whole. Clouds drift in slow formation across the urban globe, planes crossing distant pathways in arcs both high and low. There's rhythm in the vastness, in breathing without rush, letting all the inner static settle into hush. I trace the lines of avenues with my eyes alone, imagining the stories behind each lit up home. Everyone inside them carrying their own weight, yet from this height it softens into something less than fate. Rooftop above the noise reminds me how to stand, not smaller, not escaping, just steady where I am. Perspective isn't distance, it's space to understand that I am part of something wider than I planned. Stay here just one more minute. Eventually I turn back down the stairs I go, carrying that broader view into crowded streets. Rooftop above the noise, still steady in my heart.
I didn't plan to notice you, it happened in between. A question about the weather and what the weekend means. You laughed before you finished, like the punchline came too soon. And something in the looseness shifted softly in the room. I wasn't looking for a spark, I wasn't chasing signs. I'd folded up my history and packed away those lines that used to write themselves at night across my open chest. But there you were without a plan, disturbing all my rest. It wasn't wild or reckless, no dizzy spinning floor, just a quiet recognition learned before, no racing into forever, no promises too soon, just a steady growing rhythm like a low and honest tune. You asked me what I love to do when no one else could see. I told you about midnight walks and writing secretly. You listen without fixing, without trying to impress me. Simple kind of presence felt like unexpected grace. There was a moment I went silent, felt the old defense arise. A reflex born of endings and unfinished goodbyes. But you didn't rush to feel it, you let the quiet stay. And somehow in that breathing, my fear just slipped away. I remembered what it cost me to give myself before, how I learned that love can flourish even when it doesn't endure. And I swore I'd guard my softness like something made of glass. Yet here I was considering letting new light pass. When my heart tried again, it did it carefully, not falling into stories or rewriting history. It opened up a window. Not a storm, not a flame, just enough to let in color where the walls had been the same. You didn't ask about my ex or who I used to be. You asked me what I'm dreaming now and who I hope to see. Becoming in the future, growing into space, and loving you feels different because it moves at its own pace. I'm not comparing memories or measuring your touch against a ghost of yesterday that once meant far too much. You're not a replacement, not a cure, a repair. You're simply something blooming because you happen to be there. And that feels strangely freeing, like breath without a wing, like stepping toward a doorway without sealing my fate. I don't need a grand forever or fire ever above, just a chance to feel this touch and call it something close to love. When my heart tried again, it surprised me with its grace. Not desperate for belonging, just willing to embrace the possibility of laughter that lingers after rain. The chance to build a story without repeating pain. So if this grows, I'll let it. If it fades, I'll understand. Because loving once has taught me how to open up my hand. And whatever shape this takes now, I know I will remain whole within my breathing. When my heart tried again.
I spilled my coffee on the counter right at 8:15, late for something I can't remember, but acting like a scene. Wallet half inside my jacket, phone between my teeth, trying hard to multitask. Dignity beneath, the barista looked up calmly, like none of it was new. Handed me a stack of napkins,